Cool. So you had said, earlier on when we scheduled this, that you kind of wanted to use this week to chat because you could be cleared for contact. So tell me about that. How everything's going. How that clearing is.
Yeah, so the last time that we talked, I was hoping to get my eye procedure done back in June, since Delaware allowed elective procedures and stuff to happen. However, because of everything that's been going on, there weren't enough people to justify the procedure and the laser and all that cool stuff. So it actually got bumped to August. So in August 26th, I had the procedure done. And then from there, it was really just following the healing process. There was really no huge set timeline for anything because everyone heals a little bit differently. So I had I guess it was my 5-week follow-up this past Monday,
Mhm.
and everything's healed and we're good to go. And I asked I asked the doctor that day if, can I start at night? He goes, yeah. He goes, if you were to get scratched in the eye, it's no different than someone else getting scratched in the eye. So 100% cleared. Eyes are seeing 2020 and 2030. The one eye will probably catch up a little bit, but otherwise darn near perfect vision. They were very happy with the way I've healed. I healed a little bit faster, I think, than most people. But yeah, so I'm good to go. I've sparred uh, each night this week since I've been cleared, just kind of getting back into the flow of things. And it feels good to be able to move around now because everything's been kind of a lot of bag work or pad work, or I might drill something on someone, but then I have to kind of sit out and work through like a group of 3. But otherwise I'm 100% good to go. He said I'm good for competition and everything like that. So there's no difference between my eyes and anyone else's at this point.
That's awesome. And what was the, you said the recovery was about 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So what was that like? Did you have blurry vision in the beginning? Was there anything that was off, or how does someone recover from that?
So one of the things they tell you to do is they tell you to take a special fish oil supplement that helps with dry eye. Now, when I looked this particular supplement up, they say, hey, it's going to take it like 3 to 4 weeks to get into your system. So I actually started that beginning of August. So then by the time I had the surgery or the procedure done, everything would be working. So I had taken that, went in for the procedure. It took 5 minutes an eye. It was super, super quick. By the time I came out of that and heading home, there's no pain at all during it. But afterwards, it's like you feel like you have an eyelash stuck in your eye, and you're not allowed to touch your eye, or not allowed to rub your eye, or, because that will disrupt the healing process. So my right eye, which was the eye that had the worst prescription or astigmatism in it, was bothering me a lot. I was constantly kind of like tearing up, and basically I was crying the whole time. Pain wise wasn't bad. Again, it's like you feel like you have something stuck in your eye. Once I got a couple of the drops in, and the sun went down, by like 7, 8 o'clock that night, felt a little bit better. I could get up, kind of talk. But you're not allowed to look at the computer or really, be on your phone. And it's hard to look at it. Everything's super bright. And then by the next day, it was significantly better. Went in, got checked up, everything was healing okay. And then that was on a Wednesday. So by Friday, Saturday, I was actually okay to drive. I didn't have any issues with the site at that point. So I just did some just quick trips to like the store and stuff. A week after the procedure, they have contacts in your eyes to help protect and help stimulate the healing. They take those out, which they take just straight little tweezers and they pick them right out of your eye. That was probably more uncomfortable than anything else. And actually, as soon as they took the contacts out, within about 24 hours, I'd say the vision got significantly sharper at that point, and any feeling of dry eye went away, because they tell you have your antibiotic drops and prednisone drops and all that, and then they have you take other drops as needed, because dry eye is very common for a lot of people, and a lot of people will feel dry eye up to 3 or 6 months afterwards. But again, I was taking that fish oil supplement, and it seemed to really help. So once I hit about 2 weeks, I rarely use the drops. Even now, I took it today, but having fans and stuff on, that will bother me. But otherwise, it was basically pain free. I had a friend do a very similar version, and he was like, I couldn't do anything for 2 weeks. It bothered me so much. But they had cleared me to just do activity, running and weightlifting and stuff like that within the week, and there was no issue there. So it was good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be a lot more pain, and because my friend was saying, he's like, yeah, I was holed up in my room for the whole weekend. I had the blinds shut and everything, and light sensitivity kind of stunk, but um, honestly, wasn't terribly bad.
And now you are cleared. You said you were sparring, right? Everything kind of feels real good. You can see very well. 2020,
Mhm.
2030. And I saw that you, in a couple of your posts on Instagram, you have been staying in shape through the whole thing, and your goal next, is there like a timeline where you'd want to compete? Have you been reaching out to promoters? Are you looking for fights? I saw it was a 1 year anniversary since I think it was your cowboy fight recently.
Yeah.
So you probably getting the itch like most people do around that 1 year timeline if there's nothing else that's been happening. So what's on the horizon? What do you got your eye on?
Yeah, I'm no stranger to long layoffs just
Mhm.
from, different fights falling out and things like that. So this is officially now my longest. So I'm definitely looking to get back in there. I don't want to rush anything too quick because obviously haven't done anything contact for the past 5 weeks or so. So we're open to stuff and, taking a pro debut mid-November, so long as the date's agreeable. We're originally thinking of, we have a Thailand trip scheduled for right after Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Now that's a little up in the air with everything that's going on. Thailand requires you to do like a 2 week quarantine in a government facility, which we're all like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. We don't want to go into like, because it doesn't say if it's in your embassy or consulate or anything. So that might be getting pushed back a little bit later in the winter time.
Mhm.
Um, so we don't want to rush it too much. Like I'm not going to take anything in October or anything like that. But if something comes up, we're going to kind of let it organically happen. Not overly active looking for it, but if we see someone looking for a girl in my weight class, then we'll go ahead and reach out. Um, but just testing out the next couple of weeks, make sure everything's going smooth and we have the right timing for our fight camp and whatnot, because I don't want to go in underprepared for a fight, especially a pro debut, because that is a big jump. You're going from 3 minutes to 5 minutes, and dealing with some slightly different rule sets. Like the last time I fought in Virginia, it was basically professional rules,
Yeah,
so
they essentially have pro rules there.
yeah,
Yeah.
the elbows are fun. So I mean, I use them a lot, but it's a different, it's a little bit different. So we don't want to rush into anything. But if anyone at 135 wants to do something and before Thanksgiving, I'm not opposed to it. If not, we're gonna be more active later in the winter, but now's the time for it to go. I want to get that pro career off the ground, and it seems like a lot more places are starting to open up to even either no crowds or having small amounts. I know down south they've been doing fights, it seems like just about every weekend down in Florida and Tennessee. So I'm not opposed to travel, doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that was my next question was would you'd go to, a Mississippi or, some random casino in the middle of the South and, fight someone from down there. You'd be happy with that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've already talked about it. We're willing to drive, wherever. I don't really want to fly right now just because I know we're gonna have to take, COVID tests and stuff like that. So I don't want to, chance anything. So we're all good for road trips and doing that. I mean, we've been having to drive for a lot of my amateur fights, so it makes no difference for this.
And you hit on that the Thailand trip when you're planning on going to Thailand. Say if it still happens, do you have a camp set up that you're going to train at out there, or is there someone that's waiting for you there? Or how'd you get involved with heading to Thailand?
So we actually went 2 years ago was the first time I've been to Thailand. We've trained at Master Toddy's gym out there. We're planning to go back again with some more people from the gym again this year. We hope to go out basically every 2 years.
Okay.
But when the pandemic hit, that kind of put a pause on a lot of stuff. Thailand, so we've been kind of trying to keep up with what the government's been saying over there. It's looking like we can get flights in, but the quarantine's kind of funky because you do have to go through a couple of countries to get out there. Because I know Korea is a little bit stricter with things. That's usually where we wanted to do our layover at. But the plans to go out there at least for a week. Originally, I think we were planning on 2 weeks and going to the beaches and stuff, but all the tourism shut down. But the last I heard was in Phuket, they were looking to open up tourism in October. So we're hoping something comes out, in the next month or so that says, we're going to allow, international travelers in and, you don't have to quarantine for 2 weeks, especially because we're only planning on being there for about a week or so.
Sure.
I don't think my work would allow me to take a whole month off just to go to Thailand.
Your quarantine becomes longer than your stay, so that doesn't really, make the vacation very fun. So, and you hit on this a little bit, but look into something possibly before Thanksgiving for your pro debut. Now, do you like to schedule fights around that Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday? I know when I was pretty much fighting every fall, all the promoters would be like, and make sure, you're going to be able to eat your Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to have the card a week before Thanksgiving. Is that something that you look forward to? Are you like a big Thanksgiving fan?
I mean, I am. I love eating. I don't think any fighter would say that they don't like to eat.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, that does play a factor in because if, it's either you have kind of a crappy Thanksgiving dinner and then you go fight the following weekend, or, you celebrate it a week late. I have had fights scheduled for like early December before where that had played a factor. And there was one, I think it was originally supposed to be my second amateur fight. I can't remember. It was scheduled for beginning of December. Ended up falling through not too far from it. So I had already kind of cut around Thanksgiving and had, different stuff scheduled. But yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to fight the week after Thanksgiving. But I mean, I would do it anyways. I mean, a fight's a fight. That's going to be priority over Thanksgiving dinner. But, ideally the week before would be preferred so that I can, celebrate and, put back everything I cut.
Sure. And, you're, talking about a fight camp. Is your gym, back up and running normally? You're able to get work with your normal training partners? Is everything kind of running smoothly now since the last time we talked, when I think you were kind of just reopening doing solo drills, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, so there's certain things that we're able to do. Everything is still for our classes, everything's socially distanced, and unless you're with a family. Luckily, a lot of our members have family members that take classes with them. So that's been a huge part with being able to do a lot more within our classes. But we're still running all of our classes through Zoom because we do have a good amount of people at home that can't make it back into the gym. So we're not going to exclude them from that. So we run everything. We have a whole TV and camera set up so that they're able to follow along with class, and we're able to help them while they're at home. And that's from our kids through our adults that we've been able to do that with. We've gotten our schedule down with that. Now, as far as my own training, that's more private and not, class based. So I'm able to get what I need without, putting anyone else in, harm. But most of our members, they're working from home. They're not, going out and about. So yeah, so it's definitely different, and it's weird not being able to cross train as much. Because I usually, before all this, I was going up to Philly quite a bit and, cross training at gyms up there and, at least 2 or 3 times a week. But now you don't really get to do that because crossing state lines, and Pennsylvania doesn't like Delaware, and New Jersey doesn't like Delaware, and you keep going on the list and all that. But it's it's different, but we've adapted in a really good way that we're able to meet our members' needs, meet our fighters' needs, and things like that.
Good. That's awesome. And I think that's what, every gym has had to do, right? You kind of see what you're, allowed or mandated to do, adapt, and then still allow, the athletes to train in the safest way possible. And it seems like, you guys kind of got it figured out. You'll still be able to prepare for a pro debut, hopefully coming up here in the next 2 months, 3 months, something like that. Um, before I let you go, just want to give you, kind of the opportunity to give any shout outs, anything that's been going on, anything people can, look forward to for you. And then, look forward to that pro debut coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me on the podcast and you guys working with us to to get all the gear and everything. Just shout out to all my sponsors, Strong Tower Athletics and Strong Tower Nutrition, for keeping me healthy and putting on good muscle and everything during the quarantine. High Roller Tattoo for always sponsoring me, having the original logo under their creation, and then Samurai Security Operations is also another big sponsor for us as well. So, and just thank you to all my training partners and my coaches, and just that's all. We're ready to rock and roll when the time's ready. So
Awesome, Becca. Like I said, we're looking forward to it. Stay safe and keep training, and we'll see you making that pro debut soon.
yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bye.